What's going on? Good evening, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang. It's your boy Dion back here, man, with another video as promised. So definitely, before anything, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, definitely turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 40 motherfucking Niners. So, as I promised, this is my video basically grading John Lynch's past few drafts. Now, the key here is for us to kind of figure out how he's been doing since he's been in San Francisco. Not going to touch on any free agency moves that he's really made because there haven't really been much, save for the fact that Juice and Jerick McKinnon. Other than that, free agency has been null and void. So we'll start with his first year. This is back in 2017. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were married to Jed York and the 49ers for 6 years. We are now going into our fourth year, people. In our third year, we made it to the Super Bowl, and we almost won it, man. But let's take a look at some of the pieces that were supposed to get us there and what's been going on. So I'm gonna go over I'm gonna go over the draft picks, and I'm gonna go over some stats and some things, and make sure that we touch deeply on what's been going on. So for his first draft, number one pick that John Lynch made, Solomon Thomas. Now, the one thing I'm gonna say about Solly is to be honest with you, we had a actual report come out that our scouts weren't being listened to. Their, expertise was just falling by the wayside. And a lot of the scouts that we had at the time said they didn't like Solomon Thomas, and he wasn't a fit for the system, and this wasn't gonna work. So, just strictly based on the fact that they didn't listen to him, and a lot of the scouts left, and they said, what they said. Looks like they proved themselves right. Next up, and we traded up back into the first round to get this guy because he fell so far that we couldn't believe it, but we knew he was a transcendent talent at the time. That's what we thought, was the unfortunate Reuben Foster. Then round in number 3, we pick a Kello Witherspoon. Round number 3 again, C.J. Beathard. Then round number 4, Joe Williams. Round number 5, we get the all-pro tight end, one of the best things that happened to us, George Kittle. Then we grab Trent Taylor. We grab Peter. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I'm going to butcher it. Then we get DJ Jones in the 6th round as well. And we get Adrian Colbert. So, this draft overall, I'm just going to, before I get into stats and everything like that, I'm going to give it maybe a C minus, a D. The reason being is because you didn't produce much of anything. Solomon Thomas was not a starter. Reuben Foster was a starter, but he got in a lot of trouble. Kello Witherspoon was a starter, but he got mental mind games that he can't cut. He got mental hurdles he can't get over. When he makes a mistake, it just destroys him. C.J. Beathard, career backup. Joe Williams, I'm gonna put not applicable because he was worse, so I give him that's what I'm saying. George Kittle, all-star, all-pro tight end. Trent Taylor, we have yet to see. First year was not too bad, but he's been battling the injuries most of his career, and once again last year held him out all the whole year. 5 surgeries on the same foot. Peter, relegated to special teams, never really saw the field, but from the sidelines. DJ Jones, becoming a great run stuffer. We are probably going to ask a lot more of him right now that we have traded DeForest Buckner. Adrian Colbert. Colbert filled in admirably one year. We gave him the starting job the next year, and he failed miserably. Now I believe Adrian Colbert is with the Miami Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. So that tells you what's going on. So let's just kind of get into things and dig a little deeper. And I'll tell y'all exactly why I feel the way I feel. Because these are all facts that I'm going to give you. This is nothing, no lies. Solomon Thomas was DN/D lineman. And I give Solomon Thomas a D+. The reason being, there's just been some times, man. 2017, when we first drafted him, he played 14 games. He had 3 sacks, 41 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, and 11 QB hits. It's a very lackluster type of debut for someone who was touted so highly in the draft. But, I mean, I guess you give people time to grow and everything. So his first year, he was all right. 2018, played all 16 games. He had 1 sack, 31 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and 6 QB hits. Now, you wonder why such a ridiculous dip in production. Not really too much from the sacks because he only had 2 more than the previous year, but the reason being he lost his sister. So this man was battling a mental hurdle that kept him down, and it just kind of destroyed him, and it put him in a place, mentally where he couldn't really function properly. John Lynch literally had to go to him and say, hey, man, if you're not all right, it's okay. We can get you some help. And that's what they did. And then here comes 2019. 16 games, 2 sacks, 21 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and 6 QB hits. Now, if you wonder why his production didn't necessarily increase, is because his playing time decreased. We drafted Nick Bosa. We traded for D Ford. So we literally revamped the line. The line starting was supposed to be D Ford, DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, and Nick Bosa. And even with the rotational pieces that we had, Solomon Thomas rarely saw the field. So, as you can see, that's why I give Solomon Thomas like a D+, because he hasn't really done anything. He hasn't turned into anything. Now, this year, we're probably going to rely on him more because we have seen they have not cut Solomon Thomas. So, they're probably going to rely on him more with us trading DeForest Buckner. We're probably going to try to plug him into the middle next to Eric Armstead and see what he can do. We did re-sign Ronald Blair to be able to help with that. And, of course, DJ Jones is in there run stuffing. And quick note, Sheldon Day is where? In Indianapolis. And he went over there with DeForest Buckner. So they'll have them some good little, players. I wasn't really too big on Sheldon Day in the first place. Didn't really care too much for him. Moving on rapidly. Reuben Foster. For his time with us, I gave him a C-. He had a lot of talent. He just couldn't get his ass out of trouble. Reuben Foster was involved in domestic violence on several occasions. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan both said they are not about to stand for that. If you're going to be with us, you're going to abide by our rules. If you don't abide by our rules, we will cut you. We don't give a shit. We spent a first-round pick on you. We'll let your ass go. And that's exactly what happened. So Reuben Foster's first year with us, 2017, 10 games, 1 pass defense, 72 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, and 5 QB hits. So he was actually shaping out to be a great player, but just that off-the-field bullshit, man, it wasn't cutting it. Next thing, 2018, he only played 6 games, 1 pass defense, 29 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and 2 QB hits. And 2018 was the year we said, that's it. Bye. We're done. And he went ahead and he tried to play for the Redskins, wound up tearing his ACL, took him out for the year. And I don't think he did much of anything with the Skins this year, or I don't even think he played. So Reuben Foster winds up with the C- because of all the potential that he had in his first year. He looked promising, save for the off-the-field bullshit that happened. But, when you get a kid that's dealing with a female, man, and he don't know how to do things, and a lot of these kids don't have the right people around them, you got to stop having yes men. You got to start having people that actually, will tell you, no, stop doing that. Hey, don't fuck with that person. Hey, do this. Hey, be mindful. And even though it may sound annoying and frustrating, that person is good for you because they keep you out of the bullshit that's going to fuck your career up. As you can see, Reuben Foster has not recovered from the shit he was dealing with. Next thing we got, Ahkello Witherspoon. Now, see, I have Ahkello Witherspoon at a C-, but I'm going to go ahead and change him to a D. And the reason I go ahead and change Ahkello to a D is because he just, mental hurdles, man. He just can't get over them. And, my boy Dre, mental midgets. That's what he is. If there's an interception, if he gets a touchdown thrown on him, Witherspoon's whole game is fucked up. He just stops. He don't even know what to do no more. He doesn't play anymore. He doesn't play harder. He just gets destroyed. 2017, 12 games, 2 interceptions, 7 passes defense, 1 forced fumble, and 32 tackles. 2018, 14 games, 4 passes defense, 1 fumble recovery, 37 tackles. 2019, 10 games, 1 interception, 1 TD, 9 passes defense, 28 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Now, 2019, we thought Ahkello was going to ascend, and he was. before he got hurt. His first 4 to 5 games were nothing short of spectacular. He had the interception return for a touchdown against the Bucks, albeit it was the Bucks and Jameis Winston know how to throw a touchdown just as quick as he know how to throw an interception. Still counts. And he looked great, and then he went down. And once he went down, E-Man Mosley came in and took his spot. And then when he got healthy, they said, hey, we're not going to just take your spot from you. We're going to give it back to you. And what happened? He faltered. And you just start seeing him put E-Man in more, and we as fans start saying, look, he just doesn't know how to get over his mental hurdle, so screw it. Forget him. And what happened? E-Man wound up taking a spot. He started in the playoffs. He started in the Super Bowl, But Akello didn't gripe and bitch and complain. He did what any good person would do. He said, hey, if I ain't going to be able to play on the field, I need to find a way to make help this team win. So he took all the, Emmanuel Mosley special teams reps. He did whatever he could to contribute. So I can appreciate him for that. But he's got to find a way to get over those mental hurdles because he does have a lot of ability, but he just can't tap into it if he can't get past the fact of, some of the shit that happens on the field. Next up, we got C.J. Beathard. We give him an F with a possible D. Reason being, C.J. just couldn't win any games. He won one game, and it was against the shitty-ass Giants. That's literally it. C.J. is just off the chain. 2017, 7 games. He was 1-4. So that means a couple of those games he didn't necessarily start. But 7 games played, you were 1-4. You had 123 completions for 54.9 percentage. 123 completions for 54.9 completion percentage. 4 TDs to 6 interceptions. A 32.6 QBR. Took 19 sacks. That's horrible. Flat out horrible. Just bad numbers, man. And this was the year we went ahead right around Halloween and we drafted Jimmy. Jimmy took us to those wins, got us to 6-10. So, right as Beathard went down, the only thing I have to say I agree with Jimmy on is there's no point in cheering when he goes down, man. I understand the man didn't, necessarily help us win games, but you don't do that to the guy. He got hurt. It's not right to cheer him on. But when Jimmy came in, man, that was instant impact. Instant impact. And if you don't believe me, go back and take a look at the 2017 season if you have a chance. Hey, Jimmy came in and just was a spark plug. 2018. So Jimmy goes down in the 3rd game against Kansas City Chiefs. Right there, when he went down with that ACL tear, so did our season. Just took a shit. So 2018, he played 6 games. He was 0-5. He had 102 completions, 60.4 completion percentage. Now, one thing about Beathard, he has a pretty deep ball. He's really good. I'm not going to lie. If that had been Beathard throwing that deep ball to E-Man, he probably would have threw it with accuracy, and we probably would have won that game. But I'm not saying Beathard's better than Jimmy. I'm just saying he has a better deep ball than Jimmy. His accuracy is a little bit nicer. I've seen him throw some pretty good deep balls, and it works out well. That's one part of his game that's not too bad. But he had 8 TDs, 7 interceptions, 18 sacks, and a 37.3 QBR. So he just never improved. And I don't see what it was. Kyle Shanahan begged and pleaded to go get this dude. And look what happened. Not a goddamn thing. He's relegated to being a backup. His grandfather is a great executive, but C.J. Beathard is just a backup, period. It's what he is, what he going to be, and that's it. Next up on the list, Joe Williams. And we get an F for that because Joe Williams never fucking played. He practiced. He never played. It was a waste of fucking time. Straight up waste. Moving on. George Kittle. A plus. George motherfucking Kittle. The man-child. He can block. He can catch. He can do it all. There's nothing George Kittle can't do. And he does it better than your tight end. Period. I challenge you to show me a better tight end than George Kittle. And I will wait. You can tell me Travis Kelce all you want, but Travis Kelce he doesn't block. Travis Kelce is a receiving tight end. That is his job. I am not knocking the man for what he does. I don't knock people for their jobs. I don't knock Sherm for not traveling with receivers. Sherm does what the scheme calls for, and his analogy for that was perfect when he said it. He said, "I'd like to see you go to your job and tell your boss what you're gonna do and see how long you last." It is what it is, people. Moving on. 2017, he played 15 games. He had 43 catches, 515 yards, 12 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns. That was his rookie year. But you could see in that rookie year, he was developing into a star. So 2018 comes along, 16 games, 88 catches, 1,377 yards, breaks the receiving record for tight ends in the season with that 1,377 yards. He had 5 TDs, 15.6 yards per catch. And he had 1 rush for 10 yards. So you can see we were using him in ways that, benefited the squad. 2019. This is when you saw the full-on evolution of George Kittle. 2018 was a revelation, but just the evolution fully and wholeheartedly, this is when it happened. 14 games, 85 catches, 1,053 yards, 5 TDs, 5 rushes for 22 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, only 1 fumble, 12.4 yards per, 12.4 yards per catch. So if y'all not realizing what's happening here, he was flat out ridiculous. He was great in every way, shape, and form. So the guy was blocking his ass off. He missed those 2 games. He missed those 2 games because they told him he couldn't play. If they wouldn't have told George he couldn't play, that motherfucker would have played the whole season. He's been playing football his whole career with us with a torn labrum that he does not see himself getting surgery on. And he plays through it. And I have no idea how he does it. That's a testament to him being a true warrior. So we already know George Kittle, A+++++++. So Peter, F. He never played. It was a wasted pick. Period. That's why. Trent Taylor, give him a D+ because of his health. He can never stay healthy. You see flashes of what he can be. You see signs of greatness. But if it can't translate to the field because you're not healthy, it's all for nothing. It's the same way I feel about Jerick McKinnon. I thought he was a great backup when he got drafted and he was behind AP and all that stuff and everything like that. But he's been with us for 2 years, sucking up cap space in the roster spot, not doing a goddamn thing but getting paid. And it's bullshit. I don't give a fuck what your potential is. Can you get on the field and prove that potential? Come on. Get out there and do something, Jerick. And they restructured his contract this year. I'm very happy. Very happy. Ecstatic. See? Trent Taylor, 2017, 15 games, 43 catches, 430 yards, 10 yards a catch. 2018, 14 games, 26 catches, 215 yards, 8.3 yards per catch, 1 TD. In 2019, he didn't play at all. It's a wasted pick. Never really done nothing. Last year in training camp, Trent Taylor looked like he was set to have a humongous year. He was going to come out and show everybody. Got injured. Injury-prone dude. Very unfortunate. So, DJ Jones, give him a C-. 2017, 9 games, 8 tackles, 1 pass defense. 2018, 10 games, 11 tackles. 2019, 11 games, 19 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. But that was because DJ Jones wound up taking on a bigger role because we started getting so many people injured. He even got injured toward the end of the year, forcing us to sign Earl Mitchell. But DJ Jones is on the right path. Like I said, we're probably going to use him a lot more in the middle. Be a lot of plug and play by, right next to Eric Armstead. You're going to see some DJ Jones. You're going to see some Ronald Blair. We're going to see a little bit of different people to go places and do things because they're going to have to rotate in and out to make sure that they do what they do. But DJ Jones is coming along very well. I gave him a C- only because he never really got a lot of playing time. So you can't knock a guy's talent if they don't get playing time. It's different if they get PT and then they suck or they can't stay healthy. That's different. But if you don't get playing time, like what you can't really knock the dude for that. It's not his call. So Adrian Colbert, Give him a D. 2017, 14 games, 37 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 5 passes defense. We thought Adrian Colbert was about to take over. 2018, 7 games, 21 tackles, 1 pass defense. He looked like shit. He got injured. That's it. So that's for the 2017 draft, people. Those were the guys there. And literally, out of all of those people, we literally have one starter. And that's George Kittle. You look at this draft: Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, Keller Witherspoon, C.J. Beathard, Joe Williams, George Kittle, Trent Taylor, Peta, Adrian Colbert, and DJ Jones. All of those guys, one starter, George Kittle. That's it. That's why that draft gets a D. You didn't really create, like, nobody actually took the reins. All of those draft picks, nobody did anything to make themselves that much greater besides George Kittle. We have potential with Trent Taylor, but potential don't get you paid, baby. So sorry. So his first draft gets a D, and we'll see what happens in the next video. So I'm gonna give it to you from 2018. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay ready. We gonna keep going with this. And next up, we'll give you a draft from 2018. Then we'll give you his 2019 draft. And then when we're done with the 2020 draft, I'll get you one on that. But for right now, 2017 draft gets a D. Wouldn't give it much more than that. Y'all stay 49 faithful. Y'all stay blessed. Remember, one starter out of that. Have a good evening.